Kia ora, my name is Lance Kablik. I'm the program coordinator for Restoring Takarunga Hauraki. I want to give you a brief introduction to our 5-minute bird count, which is happening here in April and will again in October every year. I'm going to take you on my 2 sites that I do the bird count on, just as an example, and maybe to inspire you to get involved in your own neighborhood. The first step in doing the 5-minute bird count is to print out the form that we've emailed or that you can get off the Facebook or website. Secondly, there's a garden bird survey to remind you of the basic characteristics of all the birds you're likely to see. Secondly, you want to choose your spot. I've chosen 2. One in this garden, which is mine. It's rather small, and I'll explain about that, and another which is just down the street in my neighborhood. My garden is small but sufficient for a bird count. First thing you do is choose a location that's sort of in the middle that gives you as much space as possible. I don't have enough space for a 10-meter radius circle in my garden, but if I choose a space at my table here, I can look down to some of the better places where I expect the birds or where I see birds come. And then I can pace out and estimate how far beyond the fence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm about 5 meters from the edge of my fence, and I have to go another 5 meters on the other side of my fence, and that's fine. You can hear the miners in the background. I probably won't see those here because it's too they're a bit skittish. But we do have blackbirds and Waka Waka, the fantail, Riril, the gray warbler, and some other birds that come through our garden. So I may not see any here, or I may see several during my half hour, or, the 3 5-minute periods when I'm doing the observations. This is my second place where I'm going to do my bird count on Sunday. It's at the end of a little cul-de-sac. It's actually public land, and a beautiful little karaka forest with some totara and pahutakawa around. So there's more native trees and hence a lot more birds. You can hear even some now. When I did this in October last year, I was a bit overwhelmed actually, riding as fast as I could. So as opposed to my garden, which I may see only 1 or even 0 birds over that long period, here I'll be very busy listening to birds, trying to remember all the different calls, writing down some notes so I can go back and remember which ones I'm hearing or which ones I'm seeing. And at some points it'll be kind of like, whoa, am I missing things? And that's just fine. I did bring my own stool today so that I can sit. I usually sit down on the park bench nearby, but just trying to be safe and keep my distance from any neighbors as well. So hopefully we'll have good weather on Sunday, and if not, we'll do it the following weekend. I'm going to sit here at about 9 o'clock and then wait for a few minutes, allow the birds to get adjusted to me being here, and then looking unassuming, and then time 5-minute interval to see which birds actually come through, and then I'll go over to my other site, after that. When you do each 5-minute segments, you want to make sure that you're counting every bird only once. Between, so when I do my second 5-minute section, you just start over. You don't worry if you did the same bird another time. But if you hear a bird and then later see it and you suspect that it's the same bird, then you try to indicate that in your records. Thank you very much for participating in the 5-minute bird count this year and going into the future. This is a very important citizen science project that will help us understand the effects of our ecological restoration work.